Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready to dive into something pretty wild. Today we're looking at AI and 3D modeling,
Ooh, yeah.
specifically how it's shaking up game development.
It's a big one.
It really is, and we've got a ton of sources to dig into.
Lay it on me.
Academic papers,
Nice.
research studies,
Love those.
developer surveys, and
Oh, this is good.
even a New York Times article to keep things interesting.
Sounds like we're covering all the bases.
Exactly. Our mission today is to cut through all the hype, all the noise about
Right.
AI and really understand how it's actually being used
All that.
and what it means for the future of, well, creative fields like game dev.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something everyone's thinking about these days.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to hear from you guys too. So as we go through this, think about your own experience with AI, whether
Right.
you're an artist,
Yeah.
a developer,
Hmm?
or just someone who keeps seeing AI stuff everywhere online.
It's inescapable these days.
Okay, so let's jump right in. I came across this story in the New York Times that really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
An AI-generated artwork actually won an art prize at the Colorado State Fair.
Whoa, hold on, really?
Yeah, and you can imagine
Oh, I bet.
it caused quite a stir among artists.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It really highlights the whole debate, about AI's role in creative fields.
Totally. Like, are we replacing artists, or is this something else entirely?
Huge question.
So before we go too far, let's talk about the tools themselves.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
We've got the big names in AI image generation.
Right.
Delay,
Of course.
Midjourney,
The classic.
and Stable Diffusion.
Oh, yeah, I've played around with that one.
They've been making waves for a while now,
Yeah.
but what really caught my attention was this plugin for Fusion 360.
Fusion 360, I use that for 3D modeling.
Exactly. And the plugin is called 3DLE.
Okay, so it connects the two.
You got it.
Yeah.
Designers can use those AI-generated images, like from Daily, as inspiration for their 3D models.
Whoa, that's kind of blowing my mind right now.
Right. And that's just the start.
Yes.
We found that developers are using AI to, like, auto-generate game levels,
No way.
characters,
Really?
even textures.
That's wild.
It's moving so fast.
It really is. And I think this quote from one of the developer surveys really sums it up.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so this developer said, "It is the future. You can dislike it all you want, but it will happen with or without you. Get on the train or get left behind."
Wow, strong words.
Right. But you can feel the urgency.
You can totally feel it. It's like they're saying this is happening whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
So let's talk about why developers are so eager to jump on this AI train.
Okay, let's do it.
What are the big advantages they're seeing?
Well, I think for a lot of developers, it comes down to speed and efficiency.
Makes sense. You can create things so much faster with AI.
Way faster and cheaper, too.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Especially for smaller studios.
It's a game changer for them. Imagine a small team who could never afford a whole art department.
Right?
Now they can generate those assets in a fraction of the time.
And at a fraction of the cost.
Exactly. It levels the playing field in a way.
Totally. It gives them the power to compete with those big studios with massive budgets.
You got it. But honestly, it goes beyond just cost and speed.
Oh, okay. In what way?
It's like AI is opening up all these new creative avenues for developers.
I can see that. It's
Right.
like having this super-powered brainstorming partner.
That's a great way to put it. You can generate hundreds of ideas in seconds.
Yeah, and experiment with different styles and concepts so easily.
Exactly. And we saw that reflected in a lot of the research.
Oh, yeah. What were developers saying?
Many of them talk about using AI for rapid prototyping,
Okay,
trying out different art styles,
cool.
even testing game mechanics.
That's so cool. So it's not just about making things faster.
Not at all. It's about extending the creative possibilities.
I love that. But I have to imagine there are some challenges too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Okay, so let's dig into the not-so-fun stuff.
All right, let's get real.
What are some of the hurdles developers are facing with AI?
Well, one of the biggest ones is just the technical side of things.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. AI is pretty demanding on computers.
Super demanding. These AI models need a ton of processing power.
So not everyone can just jump in and start using them.
Unfortunately not. You need access to some pretty powerful hardware.
And that can be a barrier for some, especially smaller teams or individual developers?
It's a real problem.
Hmm.
And there are other technical challenges too.
Like what?
Well, for one, controlling the output quality can be tricky.
Oh, I see. So even if you have the hardware, it's not a guaranteed masterpiece every time.
Right. Sometimes results are amazing, but other times,
It's a bit wonky.
Let's just say they need some work.
So there's still a lot of fine-tuning and human oversight needed.
Definitely. It's not just plug and play.
And then there's the whole issue of training data, right?
Oh yeah, that's huge. These AI models learn from massive data sets of images and 3D models.
Right.
And if those data sets are biased, the AI's output will be biased too.
That's a big deal. And it's not just a hypothetical problem.
No.
There have been some real-world examples of AI systems exhibiting bias.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Which often reflects the biases in the data they were trained on.
Exactly. It's something developers need to be super aware of.
So it's not as simple as just letting the AI do its thing?
Not at all. You need to carefully curate the data you use for training.
To make sure it's diverse and representative.
Exactly. And you need to constantly monitor the AI's output.
Looking for signs of bias and fixing them.
Exactly. It's a lot of responsibility.
It sounds like it. So to use AI effectively in game development, you need a mix of technical skills,
For sure.
artistic vision,
Definitely.
and a strong sense of ethics.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a complex landscape.
It really is. But it sounds like it's full of incredible opportunities, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially for those who are willing to embrace the challenges and explore the possibilities.
And speaking of possibilities, this makes me wonder about the future of game developers themselves.
Oh yeah, good point.
Is their role going to change dramatically as AI gets even more sophisticated?
That's the million-dollar question.
Hmm.
And it's one we're going to tackle head-on as we delve deeper into the future of AI and game development.
Yes, wait.
It's a big one, for sure. How this could all change game development.
It really is. Like, we've talked about AI helping with art and assets, but some researchers are even using it to design, like, entire levels and environments.
Oh yeah, that's getting into some seriously cool territory.
Can you give me an example of what that might look like?
Okay, so imagine you're a developer.
Okay.
And you can give the AI some basic parameters for your level.
Like what kind of stuff?
The type of game, obviously, the difficulty level, and like the overall mood you're going for. Then the AI takes all that info and bam, generates a playable level design.
Whoa, hold on. So it's not just spitting out like a random map.
No, it's way more than that.
So it's actually creating a level that's playable.
Yeah, with obstacles, enemies, objectives, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
So instead of a developer painstakingly crafting every single detail of a level by hand,
Right.
they could just give the AI some instructions and watch it come to life.
Exactly. And this isn't just some far-off sci-fi concept.
Right.
We actually found a study where they created this AI called the Artificial Architect.
Okay, that sounds intense.
It was designed to generate 2D game levels.
How'd it go?
The results were pretty amazing,
Yeah.
especially considering it's still early days for this tech.
That's incredible. But I gotta ask, what does this mean for human-level designers? Are they out of a job?
That's the big question, right?
Mm.
But I don't think it's that simple.
Okay, good.
Just like with the artists, I think the role of level designers is going to shift.
Okay.
In what way? More towards like creative oversight and strategy.
So they're working with the AI, not being replaced by it.
Exactly. Picture this. A human designer working alongside an AI, guiding its decisions,
Okay.
refining its output, and making sure everything aligns with the game's vision.
So it's a partnership.
More like a dynamic duo. The AI handles the tedious, repetitive stuff,
Okay.
freeing up the human designer to focus on the bigger picture.
I like that. It's like the AI lays the foundation.
Yeah, like a blueprint.
And then the human comes in and adds all the cool details and personality.
Got it. And that partnership isn't limited to just level design either.
Oh, really?
We're seeing it pop up everywhere in game dev.
Like where?
Character creation, animation, storytelling, even music composition.
Wow. So AI is touching pretty much every part of making a game.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It makes you wonder how this will change the games we play in the future.
For sure. And speaking of the future,
Yeah.
one area I'm particularly excited about is personalized gameplay.
Personalized gameplay? What's that?
Imagine a game that literally adapts to you as you play.
Adapts to me.
To your play style, your preferences, even your skill level.
Okay. That's wild.
Yeah.
So like it's adjusting the difficulty on the fly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could even change the types of challenges you face.
And the storyline.
Potentially, yeah. It's all about creating an experience that's tailored specifically to you.
That sounds incredible. It's like having a game that evolves as you play.
Right. And
Yeah.
keeps you constantly engaged and challenged.
So cool. I'm already imagining all the possibilities.
Me too. But we got to talk about the potential downsides too.
Oh, right. Yeah. We can't just ignore those.
Like, could relying too much on AI for storytelling take away from the artistry and craft of human narrative design?
That's a valid concern. It's like, is the AI gonna steal the show?
It's a balancing act for sure. We've got to remember AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool could be used for good or for not so good.
So it's up to the human developers to use it responsibly.
Exactly. It's about enhancing the player experience without sacrificing that human touch.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance between AI innovation and human creativity,
Nailed it. It's all about harnessing the power of AI.
while still keeping those human elements that make games so engaging.
Exactly. But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay, where are we going?
We've talked a lot about the future of AI. Yeah, all the what ifs.
But I'm curious what's already happening out there in the real world.
Oh, good point. Like, are developers actually using AI in cool ways right now?
Oh, absolutely. More than you might think.
Okay, spill the tea. What are some examples?
One that comes to mind is this study where developers used AI to create placeholder assets early in development.
Placeholder assets, like the rough drafts of art and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. But instead of using basic placeholder art,
Which might not represent the final game very well.
right, they used AI to create more realistic and representative assets.
Oh, that's smart. So they get a clearer vision of the final product from the start.
Exactly. And it speeds up development too.
Makes sense. And are there any other cool AI tools out there that developers are using?
Tons. There are even tools specifically for game dev with features like automatic rigging and animation.
Whoa, so you could create a character model, rig it, and animate it all with AI.
That's the idea. It's pretty wild.
It really is. And this is just the beginning, right? Oh yeah, as AI tech keeps advancing, we're going to see even more sophisticated tools pop up.
It's kind of overwhelming but exciting too.
Totally. But it does make you wonder about the impact on the game industry as a whole.
Yeah, good point. Like, will we see smaller dev teams become the norm?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or will the traditional role of a game artist become obsolete?
So many questions.
It's hard to say for sure how things will play out.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
The gaming landscape is changing fast.
No doubt about it. The next few years are going to be wild to watch.
I'm kind of nervous, but mostly excited.
Me too. And honestly, this whole conversation has been eye-opening.
I feel like I've learned so much.
Same here. It's made me even more curious about what the future holds.
Me too. And you know what?
What?
This isn't just about the future of games.
You're right. It's bigger than that.
It's about the future of creativity itself.
That's a powerful thought.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
AI has the potential to change how we create, consume, and experience all kinds of art.
Movies, music, you name it.
It's up to all of us to be part of this conversation
Creators, consumers, everyone.
and to shape this future in a way that feels good.
Responsibly and thoughtfully.
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to pause for now.
I agree. Let's take a moment to digest all this and then come back to share some final takeaways from our deep dive.
Okay, I feel like I need a minute to process all that.
It's a lot to take in for sure.
It really is. But you know what stuck with me the most?
What's that?
How AI could, like, completely transform the player experience.
Oh yeah, that's the exciting part, right?
Oh.
And I think we've only scratched the surface.
You mean like beyond personalized gameplay and those dynamic storylines?
Exactly. Think about how AI could change the way we interact with NPCs.
Non-player characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine having a conversation with an NPC that feels real.
Real. Like I'm talking to another person.
Exactly, like they have their own personality, their own motivations.
That would be incredible. It would make the game world feel so much more immersive.
Right, it's like they're actually living in that world, not just programmed robots.
Yeah, that's always been my issue with NPCs. They feel kind of flat.
I get it. Even with amazing graphics and animation, they can still feel lifeless.
Exactly. But AI could bridge that gap, right?
That's the hope. NPCs could become much more believable and responsive.
So, like, I could actually have a meaningful conversation with them.
That's the goal.
Okay.
And your choices could have real consequences.
Okay, now we're talking. So, like, my actions would affect their relationships and stuff.
Exactly. And the storyline could adapt to those changes.
That's next level. But wouldn't that take some super advanced AI?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Creating an NPC that can actually hold a conversation
And understand context.
and learn and adapt, that's a huge technical challenge.
It sounds impossible.
It's definitely not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But researchers are making progress.
Oh, that's good to hear.
They're developing AI models that can generate natural-sounding dialogue,
Okay.
understand complex language, and even show some emotional intelligence.
Wow. So it's not just science fiction anymore?
Not anymore. It's getting closer to reality all the time.
And you know what? This kind of AI could lead to some crazy new gameplay mechanics.
Tell me more.
Imagine a game where your interactions with NPCs have real weight.
Like, your choices actually matter.
Exactly. They affect the story, the alliances, everything.
It would blur the lines between a game and an interactive story.
And every playthrough would be totally unique.
That's the power of AI. It can create truly personalized and unpredictable experiences.
This is getting me so hyped for the future of gaming.
Me too. But it's important to stay grounded, too.
Yeah, back to reality.
We can't forget about the potential downsides of AI.
Like the bias we talked about.
Exactly. And the ethical implications of AI-generated content.
And the impact on jobs for game developers.
All valid concerns. We got to keep those in mind as we move forward.
So it's all about finding that balance, right?
Always. Between the amazing potential of AI and the things we need to be careful about.
AI should enhance human creativity, not replace it.
Couldn't agree more. It's about finding that sweet spot where both can thrive.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation. I feel like I have a much better understanding of AI now.
Me too. It's such a fascinating and rapidly evolving field.
It really is. So for our listeners who want to learn more, what resources would you recommend?
There are some great websites out there like Gamasutra,
Okay, I've heard of that one.
AIGameDev.com,
Cool.
and even the AI section of the Unity Game Engine's blog.
Oh, nice. Unity is huge in game dev.
Exactly. Those are great starting points.
And for those who want to dive even deeper,
There are tons of books and research papers out there.
a bit more academic, but definitely worth checking out.
And don't forget about experimenting with AI tools yourself.
Oh, yeah, good point. There are free platforms online where you can play around with AI.
Text-to-image generation, AI music composition, even some basic game dev stuff.
Sometimes the best way to learn is by doing.
Totally. You might even discover the next big thing in AI gaming.
That's what I love about this topic. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Couldn't agree more. It's an exciting time to be a part of this.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into AI and 3D modeling and game development.
I hope you all enjoyed the ride.
We covered a lot of ground today.
From the technical challenges to the creative possibilities.
And the ethical questions we need to consider.
It's a complex landscape, but one that's full of potential.
Huge thanks to our expert for sharing their insights and expertise.
It was my pleasure. Always happy to talk about AI.
And of course, a huge thank you to all of you for listening.
We appreciate you tuning in.
Be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more deep dives into fascinating topics just like this one.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that thirst for knowledge alive.
See you all next time.